Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Political Vigilante. My name is Grant. I'm great again by getting your news here because what happens when we watch CNN? Oh, Jake Tapper says crazy, stupid stuff. Unbelievable. Height of unethical journalism, says critics, after CNN's Jake Tapper uses racist El Paso shooter to attack Palestinians. So I'm sure many of you know this past weekend, there was two awful shootings within 24 hours of each other. Dayton, Ohio, and El Paso. And even before that, there was a shooting at a garlic festival in a small town in Northern California. And what we know of these shooters, like most of the shooters in the United States, they're white males, American citizens. Not a lot of Latino or Muslim mass shooters. It's almost all white males, right? Some of them had espoused, I believe El Paso would put like there were white nationalist or racist type things. Why, I believe the El Paso shooter, right? So we're talking about racism and white nationalism and what Trump has said. So this is the ridiculous connection that Jake Tapper makes.
Is that, you hear conservatives all the time, rightly so in my opinion, talk about the tone set by people in the Arab world, Palestinian leaders talking about, and the way they talk about Israelis, justifying in the same way you're doing, no direct link necessarily between what the leader says and a violence against some poor Israeli girl in a pizzeria, but the idea that you're validating this hatred. Yep. Yes. And yet people don't, you can't compare the ideology of Hamas with anything else, but at the same time, if either tone matters or it doesn't.
Wow. So was that like a false equivalency panel that Jake Tapper was on? So you're equating... So then again, that just goes to that fake narrative that all Palestinians are part of Hamas and Hamas is causing all the problems. If Hamas would just stop bombing Israel, Israel wouldn't have to react that way, right? That's that fake narrative that we know is not true. It's not true. I'm going to show you the numbers in a second. So here's what the reactions were on Twitter. Saina Saeed, it's cool how Jake Tapper compares occupied Palestinians to white nationalists while he's actually giving them a platform on his show. He had Richard Spencer recently. Collect Your Man, CNN. This is August 4th. So he's had white nationalists on his show. And he won't, Palestine is occupied. American white nationalists are not occupied. Right? So anyone who's watching this, oh, Graham, any criticism of Israel, you must be anti-Semitic. No, I'm not. No, I'm not. Bernie Sanders said it. Being critical of a right-wing Israeli government does not make you anti-Semitic. I've said this before. I have friends I have many friends who are Jewish. I have friends who have children in the Israeli army. So this isn't me, but it's not right. It's not right. When we're critical of the police departments here in America, as I've said, I've had a friend of mine who is a cop on this very show. I don't have it out for all cops, but we need to analyze the problems. And if you don't take my word for it, let's talk to what an Israeli human rights group, these are their numbers. Israeli human rights group, Beit Salem, at least 3,480 Palestinians have died at the hands of Israeli security forces in the last decade versus 127 Israelis at the hands of the Palestinians. Let me show you that disparity. Again, I didn't come up with these numbers. This isn't a Hamas didn't come up with these numbers. A bunch of Palestinians didn't come up with these numbers. An Israeli human rights group. So there's Israelis inside Israel right now going, it's not right what we're doing to the Palestinians, okay? That should give you pause. Ex-Israeli soldiers are like, it's not right what we're doing to the Palestinians. It is an occupied territory. It has no equivalency to a white male American citizen. None of these guys, these shooters in America, are living in occupied territory. There's not tanks rolling down their streets. The Mexican army doesn't have them, in an occupied territory. That's not happening. 3,400 Palestinians have died in the last 10 years versus 127 Israelis. So please explain to me how this number justifies that number. Explain that to me. Maybe this number is creating that number, or you're using this number to justify, and you're keeping that number hidden. Let's get into the nuts and bolts of it. Again, this group came up with these numbers, not me. Of the 3,480, 782 were children and 338 were women. Weird that that wasn't in Jake Tapper's little speech there. Weird, Jake, that that didn't come up in your little symposium. How come Jake Tapper can't be? You talk about the wording of, and this is again where he. So we've been discussing, and rightfully so, the racist dog whistle stuff that Trump says that incites white nationalists, or makes them feel emboldened or whatever. If Trump was a peace-loving lefty, would there still be white nationalists going out shooting things up? Probably, yeah. We have way too many guns in this country. It's that simple. Easy access to guns is right there. But if you're going to talk about this Jake Tapper, about a leader saying these things, then why don't we talk about this leader? Netanyahu has touted Israel's southern wall as the only thing stopping, quote, severe attacks by Sinai terrorists and something much worse, a flood of illegal migrants from Africa. That is a racist remark. If Trump said that, and rightfully so, we'd say that's racist. When Trump said all Mexicans are rapists and drug dealers, we said that's racist. That's not true. Many of them are people fleeing an awful situation. Oh, why would these people walk 1,000 miles with their children? It's bad parenting, I heard somebody say on the right. What do you think it takes to leave? No one wants to leave their home. So this is how he's illegal migrants from Africa. A flood much worse than terrorists. Worse than terrorists, according to Netanyahu, is a flood of illegal migrants from Africa. Black people. Ooh, this is Netanyahu's language. Where's Jake Tapper on that? I can't find any responses from Jake Tapper about this. I can't seem to find it. I can't seem to find any responses on this number either. I have nothing. I can't find anything from Jake Tapper on this. So don't make your ridiculous false equivalencies, Jake Tapper, because you don't know what you're talking about. Thanks for watching the show. A lot of my videos are getting demonetized. This probably will too. 4 out of my 6 Epstein videos got demonetized. So please support the show. Go to rokfin.com/Graham Elwood. It is a blockchain cryptocurrency platform. So endorsing my videos there and subscribing through my channel, I get residual income. Of course, patreon.com/Graham Elwood. You get bonus content. You get to contribute to the channel if you go to Patreon. And then the ads that are playing on YouTube, my videos that do have ads, watch the ads all the way. Don't click skip ad. And of course, I will be speaking at the Minds event in Pittman, New Jersey, August 31st. If you go, the link is at grahamelwood.com, and if you use coupon code GRAHAM, you get 10% off. I'll be speaking on this panel about demonetization and all this other stuff. And then, of course, Ron Placone and I join us in the Midwest in September. We're going to Omaha, Sioux Falls, South Dakota, Madison, Wisconsin, Minneapolis, and Iowa City. And then November, we are going to Australia. We just added November 14th in Melbourne, November 15th in Adelaide, November 22nd in Perth. Ticket links for those 3 cities are at grahamelwood.com, and we will be adding Sydney on November 17th very soon. So come join us on the road. Thanks for watching the show.